What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. I want to talk about 5 traits that describes a covert narcissist. Now, first I want to say, when you first meet someone, it's going to be difficult to discern the person's true identity. That's why it's important that we move slow in the beginning of getting acquainted with people, because it takes a while before their true character reveals itself. And if a person starts to kind of rush you into something, that's one of the dead giveaways that they're probably up to something, that they have some type of hidden agenda. But the first trait that describes a covert narcissist is how hard it is to kind of, like identify them as being a narcissist in the first place. Because a covert narcissist is different from any other narc, because they know how to kind of put out the image that they want people to see them as. And how they do that is they know how to pretend to be anything they want to be. That's the easy part for them, because they pick up on a lot from other people. But when it comes to them expressing it, like the realness of a personality, that's just something they lack. That's where they lose themselves. And if you don't really pay attention to that and, point that out to them, it'll continue to just kind of go over your head, and you'll just accept them for who they are, not knowing the whole while that you're dealing with someone who's just not as authentic as they pretend to be. The person has always lived the lie, and a narcissist is good at doing that. Like I say, because they can pretend to be whoever they want to be. And they do it so good in the beginning. When you first meet a narcissist, they pretty much repeat a lot of things they've heard from other people. And they just, they play it off as if it's something they came up with. They need to make themselves look smart and sound smart. So, you'll be interested in them. And the whole while, that's not even who they are. Because if you bring certain things back up to a narc later on down the line, it'll be like, you're speaking a foreign language to them. They will be completely at a loss, not understanding sometimes where you're coming from, or they'll just kind of throw it off, that little thing that they do, to just kind of get you off the subject, to make it seem like you don't know what you're talking about. So that's kind of like the first trait of a narcissist in the beginning stages, when you first meet one, of a covert narcissist at that. Number 2 is how they listen to you so good. They listen to you good. They just kind of like suck in all the information they can get from you. And they use that in a way where it benefits themselves. Somewhat like it's just something that they kind of store away for later. And, and it can work either way. Like, come mad day, they may even throw certain things back in your face. They take full advantage of a person who's kind of at a very vulnerable state of mind at that time. You probably just went through a breakup, or you're going through a hard time dealing with just life in general, and you just need somebody to talk to. And a lot of times the narcissists, they pick up on that. They pick up on a person's weakness, and they use that, to benefit themselves. Because a narcissist's first interest is always going to be themselves, even though they're going to pretend like they care about you. The narcissist is incapable of caring about others. It's all about them. It's all about their own hidden agenda. And most of all, it's all about supply. Because when you give so much of yourself away to someone in the beginning, and they can benefit from it in a way that a narcissist do, it's going to always come out as being toxic, because this person, they never really had a genuine interest in you to begin with. So that kind of describes the covert narcissist also. Number 3, and also they have goals. They're going to always have these goals to just put you in a box, and they can use you in a certain way. Because narcissists, trust me, they have more than one source of supply. You're not going to be the only one. If you're in a relationship with a narcissist, I'm pretty sure you're not the only one they're dealing with. They are cheating on you. They do not believe in being faithful. They will play it off like, that's just not something that come to mind when y'all, decided to be in a serious relationship. But I talked about that in another video. So number 3 is manipulate. That's another sign of a covert narcissist. They are very good at manipulating, and they lie. They lie a lot. Everything that the narcissist has told you about themselves is pretty much a lie or something to be questioned. Because even though they've told you things that probably has actually happened, I had to go back in my own personal experience with a narcissist and question everything that she ever told me. I'm talking about my the person I used to work with as a narc. And I would turn around everything that she told me, and it fits better. It just looked better. It made more sense. Once you turn the story around, everything she's ever told me was a lie. So if I reversed it in a way, it kind of let me see what actually happened, what really happened. Because of course they're not going to keep it real with you. They're going to paint this perfect picture of themselves, and they're going to always be a victim. And so when you turn around the things that they told you, you'll see it like where they were actually not the victim. They were probably, if anything, the one who's really making someone else miserable or whatever. So number 4 is they have no empathy. And that takes me back to number 1, how it is difficult to discern a narcissist. They have no empathy because they don't know how to express their feelings and emotions towards other people. They don't know how to show sympathy. They can pretend to care with their words. They know how to say the right thing to convince you to see them a certain way. But if you really, really pay attention to a person's body language, the way they speak, their personality, the way they respond to things on a regular basis, you will know who they are. Like, are they really like this, or are they just putting on in front of certain people? And that's something that's going to stick out with the narcissist. They are very two-faced individuals. They know how to play the fence, and 1 minute they're on your side and speaking against somebody else. The next minute they're on their side and speaking against you. They know how to play the game of divide and conquer. That's their number 1 goal when it comes to how they juggle their supply. So that's number 4. They have zero empathy. They really don't care how things affect you and how it makes you feel. And that takes me to like the point of, you just can't take no more. You just can't take no more of them, and you decide to just, remove yourself from the narcissist. Whether you just discard them and just, they never hear of you again, or you just go no contact, and they still have a way of, looking for you, stalking you, checking in on you, lurking, and, just things like that. But what comes with that is number 5, the final sign, the final trait of a covert narcissist is the bullying and the taunting. They do this when you still are somewhat in the presence of the narcissist, but at the same time, you're on a verge of, leaving the narcissist. But once you get out of a relationship or you get out of a situation to where you don't have to deal with them anymore, or you leave a job dealing with a narcissist or anything, or you just stop dealing with one who you're like a friend or something like that. That's when they taunt and they bully you, because they do the taunting and the bullying when they see that you're not giving them nothing in return. It also comes when you kind of expose them in a way, or you call them out on something. They hate that. They don't know how to handle it. So that's when they kind of like get all in your face and kind of like push you to get a reaction. They need to get you mad. They need to get you upset. They're trying to get you to respond in a way to where it's going to make it seem like if you actually put your hands on them, you started with them. When in actuality, they are the instigators. They're provoking you to do certain things, to react a certain way. And they're not going to see it that way, especially if this is done, just with you two in private. If there are any witnesses around, I'm pretty sure they're not going to do it in the first place. They're going to play victim and things like that, or they may not even just use that opportunity at all to do it. But they are known to taunt and bully and just say things in a spur of the moment that you be wondering like where they come from, or like, they just say things out of the blue, things that they know will hurt you. But when it comes to the taunting, it comes during that time, that moment, when you are just like giving them no type of attention, no type of reaction. They need certain attention from you. At all times they need attention. But during the moments that they feel like they're not getting nothing from you, they have to try to push your buttons and do anything they can to get a reaction out of you. And taunting is the way that they do that. Again, normally it happens when you call them out on something, when you caught them in a lie, and it's nothing that they can say to defend themselves against it. So the only thing they know how to do is to become violent, or, what's the word I'm looking for? Just hostile, and they just become unsettled in their ways to the point where they try to really push you. They really try to push you to the edge. And so the best way to handle situations like that is to instantly remove yourself. You have to remove yourself from the narcissist, because it's going to get worse. If you're not the type of person that know how to control yourself, which nobody should have to control themselves against someone who don't have control, but you have to protect yourself and get away from people like that. And if you can even document a narcissist who's trying to be violent and put their hands on you, that's abuse. No one has the right to put their hands on you unless they are defending themselves. But if you put your hands on a narcissist to defend yourself and there's no one around to witness it, of course the narcissist is going to hurry up and make a complaint on you. They're gonna call the police or whatever and file a complaint of you putting your hands on them, even though they started it. So it's best to just remove yourself away from the situation early on, once you start to see them in that light. It's always best to put yourself first. Never try to explain yourself to a narcissist, because you're going to go on and it'll never stop. They're just going to have you going around in circles. And, you'll just drive yourself crazy trying to explain yourself to someone who, that the reality of it all. But they try to do this thing through crazy making and have you just constantly explain yourself. They get supply from that. That gives them a really feel good moment just to see you pretty much kind of like begging for mercy from them to understand what you're saying. They're never gonna understand what you're saying, and they already know what they're doing. But as long as they can keep baiting you in through certain situations, they're gonna keep doing it because you're giving them the opportunity to. So again, it's best to just get out of those type of toxic and abusive relationships. It's best to just get out. So anyway, this video went way longer than I had planned it to, but I can go on and on talking about, traits of a covert narcissist, because I've dealt with one and I've seen others. And so, I hope this was helpful to anyone. If so, please leave your comments down below. Give this video a like, share it, and thank y'all for watching. I'll talk to you soon.